What is going on, guys? My name is Seapeekay, one of the hosts of all things MCC, and it's about that time where we talk about all the teams that have been announced for MCC 23 and my rough predictions based on just my own knowledge, nothing else, which is why I get it wrong so often. So without further ado, let's take a look at the teams that have been announced for MCC number 23. So the first team we have is the Red Rabbits. I'm on this team, so I like it a lot. Tommy in it, Seapeekay, Crank Gameplays is now canon, which is huge, and Shovel. With a Season 2 average of 7666, that could be a bad sign. I think that we're a decent team. I genuinely do believe that there is a chance that we can win this event. The teams are very balanced. Scott has been killing it recently with super balanced teams. I'm going to try and get Ethan Crank Gameplays in for a couple practices. He's been in a non-canon, all right? So he's got some experience. And I think if we can get him a little bit more used to the games, we can have an absolutely great time. Overall, I think we're going to do well in PvP games, things like Battle Box, maybe Meltdown, and Sky Battle if it returns, under the leadership of the all-powerful Tommy Innit. So that's my prediction for us. Let's take a look at the next team. Next team is the Orange Ocelots, made up of Quig, In the Littlewood, Eret, and Finster. Now, what I think there is in quite a few of these teams, which you're going to see as we go forward, is that a lot of them have one like extremely standout player, maybe like an S tier or someone that I think is very standout, and then the rest of the team. This team has a really strong Season 2 average of 8593 with the whole team putting up good numbers. I think this is a great team for Quig to continue a run of just being very good at grid runners. And I think what we see from this team is a relatively all-round team. They have players that pick up bits that other players go down on. I'm excited to see Quig bridge everybody to victory and to get to the other side. I think that's going to be an absolute blast to watch. Overall, strong team. And I also have no idea why Eret's picture is so low res. I'm so sorry, Eret. I don't know how this happened. Next up, we got the yellow Yaks, who have a season average of 8521, made up of Sapnap, George Not Found, Elena, and Goomy. Goomy so far essentially the queen of filling in for teams straight into the roster this time. And Elena coming back. Finally, no longer just on one team color, moving over to yellow. Then we have the Sapnap and George combination. Again, this is another one of those teams. Sapnap has a significantly higher average than the rest of the team. And I think it leaves a lot to ride on the best player, in quotes, in the team, doing as much as they can to help out. However, having George Not Found as a direct wingman is definitely not going to be a bad thing. We're obviously going to see domination from this team in anything where Sapnap can get his hands on weapons to hurt people. Games I don't think they'll do as well in. Maybe things like Build Mart. I'm not sure they've got anyone who's particularly wild to get to the other side. So only time will tell, but obviously a very powerful team and could absolutely win the event. Next up, it's the Llamas, made up of Illumina, Solidarity, Good Times with Scar, and Cubfan. A season average of 8228. Again, we're seeing that same theme. Illumina, significantly higher average score than the rest of the team. In this case, Solidarity and Cubfan are kind of similar, with Scar being towards the lower end, but who knows, as Scar is in more events and gets more versed with the games, we could see those scores increasing dramatically. I think this team's strategy essentially for most games should be kind of follow Illumina around, follow Illumina's lead. A veteran at this point, gonna be looking to try and grab another win. Definitely feel like it's gonna be one of those teams that's gonna sneak up behind you in survival games and wipe you out without you even realizing what's going on. The second lowest Season 2 average so far out of all the teams, after my own team, who has the lowest quite significantly. But my team, I think, also breaks the chain of there being one standout player, with me and Tommy being relatively similar. Next up, we have the Green Geckos, made up of Dream, Foolish, Tina, and Connor Eats Pants. Now, this is statistically the weakest Season 2 average team that we have by about 1,000 coins, which is quite significant. However, it seems very silly to ever rule out a team that has Dream on it. I'm sure Dream's going to get the guys practicing a little bit. Foolish is always on the practice server anyway, just absolutely grinding things like Parkour Warrior. So I'm expecting to see an increased score from him this time around. Tina's average is teetering just under 1,000 coins. If we could see that boosted up a little bit to maybe something like 1,100, 1,200, we could see a massively different scoreline in this upcoming MCC. And it's great to see Connor Eats Pants come back. Of course, Connor Esports is out here pretty consistently coming between 35th and 38th in the MCCs that he's played in before. But it's fair to say he's never had Dream on his team, and that could change everything. So the first team that's going to be announced on day 2 is the Cyan Coyotes, made up of Jojo Solar's False Symmetry, Pearlescent Moon, and Smager 1995. Now, I think this team is cracked under the guise of maybe not looking overly cracked. We see Pearl making a return. Jojo is back again, this time mixed in with False Symmetry and Smager. Now, this team fills all the gaps that the other players don't have a lot of experience in. For instance, Pearl and Smager can absolutely lead games like Buildmart. But this time around, they have a teammate in Jojo who can lead them in games like To Get to the Other Side and Battlebox. It's a really, really great all-round team. And for me at the moment, arguably of the teams we've seen, one of the favorites to win it for sure. I'm really excited to see how this goes. It's going to be interesting to see whether the community thinks this is OP or whether this team is slept on. It's definitely going to be one or the other. I don't think anyone's going to say it's an average team, but only time will tell, and let's find out when it happens. Next up, we have Aqua with an average of Season 2 for 7871, and we go back to that formula that we've seen broken by my team and Scott's team, where we have the extremely standout player in Puns, who I believe is likely going to be the leader of this team. I'm excited to watch this team because I think it's a very interesting mix of vibes. I do think this team will be very competitive. I think especially with Puns and Sylvie, who I know play a lot of competitive games on stream, etc. And I'm not sure how well Sniff knows everyone else, but I know that Puns and Sylvie are great friends. There's also the Puns and Bad Boy Halo crossover from the Dream SMP. I think the vibes are going to be good. I don't think it's a team that wins the event, personally. But again, it's MCC, and anything can happen, baby. Next up, we got the Blue Bats, made up of SB737, Sneak Snag, Captain Sparkles, and Kara Corvus. We see the Captain Sparkles, Kara Corvus duo come back. Sneak Snag thrown in there, and SB actually getting mixed in, which I think is going to be interesting because from what I've seen in the past, SB has always had a better player on their team. I was actually just looking at SB's placements, and he has just gotten better and better. He actually finished 25th, then 24th in his first two MCCs, then 14th and 14th in MCC 12 and 14, then 7th and 7th in MCC 17 and 20. The fact this guy places in duos is kind of frightening, but this will be a real test to see whether SB can pull off those numbers when he is statistically the best player on the team. Gonna be an exciting one. Not sure who's gonna take the lead with this one. Again, do I think it's a team that can win? No, but I do think it could be a sort of middle of the table, maybe 5 to 7 somewhere. This one's gonna be super hard to do placements for because everyone is so weirdly close in average skill. So I'm excited to watch them. I think they may struggle potentially a little bit in Buildmart, and depending on how their communication goes, survival games. Next up, we got the Purple Pandas, and I feel like this one has slipped through the net. I think this team is unbelievably OP. Pizza Hut, Filza, Smallish Beans, and G Nelly, they're the second strongest, highest average for Season 2 in this event. But I think that this is an incredible team. I think they've got movement games on lock. I think they've got enough skill in PvP games. They're good at games like Buildmart. I think this is a frightening team. And for me, so far from what I've seen, I think this is the team that wins the event right now, or at least they finish in top 2. I think this team makes it to Dodgeball unless something goes wrong. I can't wait to see it. I'm frightened to come up against it. Let's get into the final team of the event. Boom! MCC back at it with the Wilbur Rambo combo. This time thrown in with Amesy, who's making a canon appearance, and Blushy, who is returning. I think it's going to be a fun team to watch. I do think statistically it's one of the weaker teams. I don't think we're going to see third place. I think the third place curse, technically the last event we broke the third place curse by coming fourth, so it's already broken, but I don't think we're going to see this team come third. I think we're going to see this team somewhere down toward the bottom. Amesy had a really strong performance in his last MCC, but had a weak performance in his first MCC. So exciting to see what's going to happen on this team. I think it all really comes down to whether Wilbur and Rambo play as they usually do, and Blushy and Amesy can up their numbers a little bit. But off the top of my head, I don't think it's a winning team. So as you can see down the side here, if we do the Season 2 averages, you can see that Orange is actually set to win this event, then Purple, Yellow, Cyan, Lime, Blue, Aqua, Red, Pink, Green. And this is how the sort of top players would look here. I would sneak into the top 10, which would be lovely. How lovely. If we change it to last event, things change quite dramatically. We actually see Cyan and Blue, Purple, Yellow, Orange, Red, Lime, Green, Aqua, Pink. I still stick around the same place in average placement, which is interesting. Dream actually jumps up to be number 1 though, based on last event. And if we change it to overall average, it's kind of similar back to what we were seeing here. You can see the difference here: 7914 to 7666, 8577 to 8593. Like, a lot of teams change by a couple hundred points, but it does change the overall outcome of everything. So it's going to be a really, really exciting one. I actually cannot wait to be a part of it. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, or you haven't, but maybe you have. I'm going to give you my top 10 MCC teams for this event, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a tough one. I'm going to take some time to think about it and then show you my opinion of the top 10. So again, I'd like to make it very clear, these are subject to change up until the event because I don't know the games yet, and that really does change things. And also when the games are played is going to make a massive difference in this event, I'm pretty sure. The teams that I have gone for are, I'm ready to be absolutely butchered for pink in 10th. Pink in 10th, Aqua 9, blue 8, green 7, lime 6, yellow 5, red 4, orange 3, cyan 2, purple 1. I have some bias for my own team. There is a chance we finish lower than this. I mean, I think that this is... I think 7 to 10 is relatively interchangeable. I have to put someone in 10th. So it is what it is. They're just predictions. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments section below this video, please. I would love to see them. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. We're getting so close to 100K. We really are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Seapeekay, and I'll see you guys in the next All Things MCC video. Peace.